Well, it's finally here. After 7 months, Halo Shadows of Reach has been released, at least in the US and Canada. Sadly, the UK will have to wait another 6 days. But that aside, I have been extremely excited for this book since it was announced, and while I certainly had my concerns, as I'm sure many of you are aware, the final product was an absolute hit. Another piece of gold from author Troy Denning. Why, might you ask? Well, without getting into spoiler territory, allow me to explain. Though first, I do want to make it known that I received a free review copy of the book from the publisher, Gallery Books, and made some sponsored content at their request here on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. So keep those potential points of bias in mind as I give my thoughts. So, Shadows of Reach is set in early October of 2559, almost a year after the events of Halo 5 Guardians, and represents the first full book to really dive into what a post-created Halo universe looks like. We had Halo Bad Blood back in 2018, which is set immediately after Halo 5, and while that does give us a look at the immediate impact of the created uprising, Shadows is our first opportunity to see the long-term effects. We find ourselves in a galaxy where every precaution has to be taken in order to avoid detection by Cortana, even on a glassed and largely abandoned world like Reach. Blue Team, all sporting new Generation 3 Mjolnir armor, have been sent to their former home to recover unspecified assets from Dr. Halsey's old lab under Castle Base, now buried under the rubble and slag of the former Menakite Mountain. Unfortunately, the Spartans' mission is complicated when they encounter the Banished on Reach. Now they have to try and complete their mission while dealing with a Banished onslaught, all while trying to avoid detection from their new galactic overlord. And that's about as much as I can directly say about the plot without getting into anything spoilery. I will note, however, that if you've read Dr. Halsey's journal, you can make a pretty good guess at what might be in Halsey's lab that she wants. Myself and other Halo lore folk have been speculating about what Blue Team could be going after and why, so I'll leave a link to my early ideas about that in the description box below, if you don't want to wait to find out. As always, Troy Denning's writing is masterful and immersive. You can feel the tension in moments like doing a hard entry into an enemy-occupied planet, or during a massive battle, the details ever clear and the unpredictable nature of war ever present. Mr. Denning also has a noted talent for creating exciting and gripping original characters, and he once again delivers here, with some of the side characters being among my absolute favorites from any of his books. Shadows of Reach is, in many ways, a callback to Halo the Fall of Reach, both in terms of function and presentation. I've gone over in detail the similarities its cover has to the classic Fall of Reach cover, or how it leads into Halo Infinite the same way Fall of Reach did for Halo CE. More than that though, this book features Blue Team returning to Reach in a major way. Not for the first time as we saw in the animated version of the Fall of Reach, but certainly a more impactful one. Once again, the Spartans' home is under threat and their mission is taking them back to the Reach military complex in the Highland Mountains, the place they grew up. Shadows of Reach is not the first time Troy Denning has written the characters of Blue Team, both during the war and after, and his handling of them and their family dynamic is once again masterful. Fred is his talkative self, Kelly's sense of humor as seen in the Eric Nyland novels is on full display along with a fun new quirk, and Linda's adherence to Zen are all present. But more than that, their return to Reach is everything you would expect from such a journey, and no opportunities are wasted to call back to the Fall of Reach in both meaningful and nostalgic ways. Speaking of callbacks, if you've read any of Mr. Denning's other Halo novels, you'll find plenty of exciting moments and references to events and characters in here. I won't say what, of course, but you'll know them when you read them. And finally, on the subject of connections, there is a ton of new technology, both UNSC and Banished, featured throughout this book. Some of it we've seen, such as Gen 3 Mjolnir or Banished weapons like the Mangler, but other stuff is entirely new. At least some of what we see, I expect we'll see in Halo Infinite as well, and I can't wait to talk more about that down the line. There's also some cool appearances of tech from the games that you might not expect, such as when Halo Wars 2's Jackrabbit appeared in Halo Oblivion. Again, I won't say what, but I found it all to be pretty cool. Overall, Shadows of Reach is an absolute masterpiece on a level I could not have expected, and it's really hard to describe exactly why without getting into spoilers. For example, there's a moment in this book that really brings years of materials to a head, and damned if that didn't hit me hard. While I certainly have my gripes with certain story decisions, I found the book overall to be an exciting read from start to finish. With a compelling narrative, standout characters, and some amazing surprises, I have to give Halo Shadows of Reach a 10 out of 10. Now, before we wrap up, let's address the elephant in the room, the Walmart edition. At the time of this writing, I have not read the bonus story, Sacrifice, and have no idea what that contains. I do plan to talk about that when I get my full review and analysis out next month, but that's for then. At this time, while I'm excited to see what Sacrifice may hold, I'd be remiss if I didn't once again express my displeasure over how the distribution of this story has been handled. If Gallery Books really wanted to make a special edition with a bonus story, that would be one thing. I'd probably have no objections. However, the fact that it's Walmart exclusive, especially since Walmart basically doesn't exist outside the US, does not reflect favorably. It doesn't hurt my opinion of the book itself, but I really hope that this is a one-time incident and that this bonus story will be made more widely available as soon as possible. I hate practices like this, and I'm sad to see it happening to Halo, arguably for a second time, the first time being when Halo Evolutions was split into 2 volumes, each volume containing a bonus story that wasn't included with the original print. At least in that instance, though, there weren't restrictions on where you could get those bonus stories. They were included with all versions. Anyway though, those are my thoughts on Halo Shadows of Reach, at least for now. For those who have read the book, how did you like it? Let me know in the comments below, but please do so without spoilers. Let's not potentially spoil anyone's experience, okay? That's all for now though. This has been Halo Canon. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and if you really love me, hit that notification bell and leave a thumbs up. These both really help out the channel. I wouldn't be where I am now without your views and support, so once again, thank you. Keep on being awesome, Canonites.